Are you struggling to switch between dark and light themes in your Angular application? You're not alone. Today, we're going to tackle how to conditionally load CSS files in your index.html. I totally get it. Having a dark theme is great, but sometimes you just need that bright, fresh look. It can be frustrating when you want to switch themes but don't know how. You're definitely in the right place. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked how to conditionally load a light theme CSS file based on a URL parameter in their Angular index.html. They want to know if it's possible to switch between darkroom.css and lightroom.css easily. So what's the challenge here? The issue lies in the fact that index.html is a static file, and it doesn't inherently support dynamic loading based on URL parameters. But don't worry, we can work around this limitation. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear solution that will make switching themes a breeze. To conditionally load a CSS file in the index.html, the user can utilize JavaScript to check for URL parameters. This will allow the user to switch between the dark and light themes based on the URL input. Next, the user should add a script tag in the head section of the index.html file. This script will read the URL parameters and load the appropriate CSS file accordingly. Now, the user can test the implementation by adding the URL parameter. If the user types Lightroom equals true at the end of the URL, the light theme will load. Otherwise, the dark theme will be the default. Finally, the user should ensure that both CSS files are correctly linked and accessible in the specified directory. This will prevent any loading issues when switching themes. Fun fact, did you know that the concept of themes in software dates back to the early days of computing? It's amazing how far we've come. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggests combining all themes into a single CSS file. You can dynamically add a class to your app component to switch themes. For example, in your apptheme.scss, you can define both light and dark themes using Angular material theming. Then in your app.component.html, you can bind the class based on a Boolean variable that indicates the current theme. For a non-Angular solution, you can programmatically add a CSS file in your component. By injecting the document, you can create a link element and append it to the head of your HTML. This allows you to load the desired CSS file based on user preferences. And here's a quick tip. Always test your theme switching functionality in different browsers to ensure compatibility. It can save you a lot of headaches later. And there you have it. You can now conditionally load CSS files in your Angular index.html based on URL parameters. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.